everyone! I have a riddle for you. Let's listen to it and see if you will know the answer.
Father and mother next to one another, riding their car with a little sister and brother. It was a long drive, it took them 5 hours, heading to the lake, moving 60 kilometers per hour. The family drove straight to the lake. They took no break, they took no break. Now can you guess how far was the lake? Now can you guess how far was the lake?
So there was a family going on a road trip. They drove at an average speed of 60 kilometers an hour, which means every 1 hour they crossed a distance of 60 kilometers. How far will the car move in 5 hours? How far will the car with an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour move in 5 hours? So they will drive 60 kilometers the first hour, another 60 kilometers the second hour, 60 kilometers the third, the fourth, and the fifth. This is repeated addition. We can either add 60 plus 65 times or multiply 60 by 5. The family drove 300 kilometers in 5 hours. Did you get it correctly? In this episode, we learn about various units that we can use to measure long distances, such as roads, and small lengths, such as the length of one of these staples. Stay tuned. To measure the length of objects, we may use different measuring units based on how long the object is. We use centimeters for shorter objects and meters for longer objects or distances. For instance, I can use centimeters to measure the length of the painting on the wall and meters to measure the length of my living room. Let's look at more examples together. How long is a meter? And how long is a centimeter? The length of this guitar is 1 meter long, and the width of one staple is 1 centimeter. Let's look at some pictures together. Try to guess the length of each. Is it 1 meter long or 1 centimeter long? Let's sort these examples into 2 categories. What can we say about the height of a 5-year-old? Is it 1 centimeter or 1 meter? Of course, a child's height is about 1 meter. What else is 1 meter long? 5 steps up the staircase, the length of a small fridge, and shoulder to wrist in an adult. Which examples are objects that are equal to 1 centimeter in length? The diameter of your belly button, the thickness of 5 CDs stacked on top of each other, and the thickness of a notebook. Let's now measure the length of an ant. How long is it? It is between 5 and 6 centimeters. It is a bit less than 5.5. We can say it is about 5.5 centimeters, but our answer would be not very accurate. Sometimes, when we measure the length of smaller objects like insects, we would need a measuring unit that is smaller than a centimeter. Look carefully at this ruler. Do you notice that every centimeter is divided into 10 parts? These small dashes represent the millimeter. Every 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. We multiply by 10 to convert from centimeters to millimeters and divide by 10 to convert from millimeters to centimeters. 2 centimeters equals 20 millimeters. 3 centimeters equals 30 millimeters, and so on. So how many millimeters is the length of this ant? It is 53 millimeters long. We can count 53 small dashes on this ruler. A small pea is 10 millimeters. A peanut is 20 millimeters, and a lemon is 50 millimeters long. This means that a pea, being 10 millimeters, is also 1 centimeter long. A peanut is 2 centimeters, and what is the length of a lemon in centimeters? It is 5 centimeters long. We're dividing by 10. We can use millimeters to measure tiny widths too. Did you know that you can find pencil tips of different size? The tip of this red pencil is 0.3 millimeters wide, while the green one is thicker, 9 millimeters wide. The tip of the pen at the bottom is 2 millimeters, while the width of this highlighter is the thickest. It is 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter. So the length of this guitar is 1 meter long. The length or the width of one of these staples is 1 centimeter long, and if we stack 10 papers, their thickness will be equal to 1 millimeter. This bar graph shows different bug lengths. We notice that the shortest bug is the beetle. By observation, we can also see that both the earthworm and the walking stick insect are slightly different in size, and they are the longest among the bugs mentioned on this bar graph. Which measuring unit is used in this graph to determine the bug lengths? It is the centimeters. Why is it centimeter and not millimeter or meter? Because all the lengths are less than 1 meter, yet more than 1 millimeter. The beetle is 3 centimeters long, which means 30 millimeters. We multiply by 10. What is the length of the walking stick in millimeters? It is 40 centimeters long. Multiply by 10, it is 400 millimeters. Let's compare the earthworm to the elephant beetle. How much longer is the earthworm? The elephant beetle is 10 centimeters long, while the earthworm is 35 centimeters. When we compare two numbers, do we add or subtract them? When we find the difference between two numbers by comparison, we subtract. So 35 minus 10 is 25. The earthworm is 25 centimeters longer than the elephant beetle. An electrician uses a 40-meter wire for 4 buildings. If he uses the same amount in each, how much would he use per building? So altogether, he used 40 meters. To find how long the wires used in each building, should we add to the 40 or multiply? We cannot add because the maximum length of wires used is 40. He did not use more. What is the electrician doing here? He is dividing the 40 meters among the 4 buildings. So let's divide 40 by 4. What is the answer? I know that 4 times 10 equals 40. The electrician used 10 meters of wires in each building. This is how long 1 meter is. Remember, the guitar is 1 meter long. 1 meter is, my height is a bit more than 1.5 meters. The measuring tape shows the length in centimeters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters long. 5 meters equal 500 centimeters. 7 meters equal 700 centimeters. We multiply by 100 to convert from meters to centimeters. How many centimeters do 74 meters make? Multiply by 100, you can simply add 2 zeros. 74 meters equals to 7,400 centimeters. Well, in the riddle we solved at the beginning, the family drove 300 kilometers. Can you guess how many meters that is? How many centimeters? And how many millimeters? In this episode, we learned about some important measuring units we use all the time. See you next time. Bye-bye.
لمشاهدة المزيد من الحلقات زوروا سات7 بلس.